Welcome everybody to the Latte podcast. Now today we have pulled a very special lady for a chat. Jasmine, one of our commercial property partners, and now she has a soft spot and is the go-to conveyancer for buying at auction. Now girl, thanks for coming in, because I know today is a very busy day for completions, so let's dive straight in.
Thanks.
Now the whole auction process is pretty intimidating, so let's just start there. What exactly is a property auction and how does it work?
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, this is a question I get quite a lot from people. So an auction is a place, but think of it like a marketplace. And it could be every month, it could be every few months, it depends on how certain auction houses work. They will have essentially like an online catalogue of properties that are going to be available to market on a very specific day. So
like the Argos catalogue, but for properties?
Yeah, basically, a little bit like that. So, for example, an auction house might have an auction on the 31st of October, right?
Right.
31st of October, all of the properties that are in that brochure go live. And anybody that's interested, they get the opportunity at specific slots. So each one will have like a time slot where they can bid for it. And essentially, if you're interested, you buy it there and then. When the hammer goes down, essentially you've exchanged contract. It's a done deal. So that's what it is in a nutshell.
So you basically you have an idea of what's going to come up before, you've already looked at that catalogue, and would you say that most buyers when they get to the auction have got a pretty good idea of the ones they're going to go for, or could they be swayed by another property at the auction?
It could go either way. Look, you get some people that have been eyeing up properties for quite a while.
Yeah.
So they know exactly what they're going for, and that's what they've got in mind. They know what their bid price is. They know exactly what they're going to do. You get other people that say, I'm roughly looking for this, and they'll sit there and they could get swayed by one.
Some head could get turned.
It could get turned. Some people, and it does happen, they're not necessarily the most prepared. So they see something, they make a snap decision, because that's quite often, what can happen in auction. They go, oh, that seems like a terrific purchase, I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
And obviously, just to sort of point out, auctions have really evolved over the last few years. So it's not just now the traditional, hammer goes down on an actual day. You also get hybrid auctions as well, which, essentially is a little bit like looking at someone's catalogue. You get companies like I Am Sold, and sort of there's many different companies actually that do it now. And it's sort of in auction out, it's like one leg in, one leg out. So essentially you don't have the normal 28 days, you might get 56 days to complete.
Right, okay.
And it's not on an actual auction date. You put your offer in, if they accept it, they'll say, right, we will conduct this process as an auction purchase, but you'll have a little bit longer to complete on it. So now people are sort of going both ways.
I can see how that could work, and I can see how that is a natural way for the auction process to evolve based on what people really need. Now let's talk about risks. Okay. So I feel like when I talk to people about buying at auction, there's two types of people. You get the ones that are totally up for it, maybe a bit impulsive, probably would class myself and probably you in that bracket. And then two, you get the ones that are totally petrified of it and never, not my cuppa. So you get sort of generally speaking, you get that kind of extreme reaction to buying at auction. So what, for a legal point of view, what would you say are the risks of buying at auction?
Auctions are a bit like Marmite. I think for people, they either love them or they hate them. So I think that's a really good example. People are either petrified of them, or you're either a savvy trader and you know exactly what deals you're looking for. They buy them up. They might do a lick of
Sorry,
paint.
I've just got to interrupt there, but do you like Marmite?
I like Twiglets, which is a crisp that has the Marmite taste. But I'm not a fan of Marmite, which is interesting. So
okay. Sorry, Karen. I just had to know.
So where was I? Now I've got Marmite in my head.
Auctions are like Marmite.
Right, yeah. So you get traders that sort of sweep them up. They might refurb, flip, sell them on, right? It's a business, it's what they do, and they know exactly what they're looking for. They know what deals to look for, and they love it, right? Then you get people in a kind of a middle category. They might have a little bit of experience with property. Maybe they own something, maybe they've got their own buy-to-let, and they feel a little bit confident with, you know what, I think I'm going to dip my toe into auction now, right? So they're a little bit more experienced, but they've never done auction before, right? So they're cautious, but they're not too risk averse. And then you get the ones that say, I wouldn't touch it with a barge pole, because they just don't understand the process. And what I would say to anyone, whether you are a trader, a first-time buyer, or it's the first time you're doing an auction, you've got to do your homework. And I think that is the biggest risk. It's two things. One, many people don't take the legal advice before they go to auction. So they look at the property, they read the description, what's been put on by either the auction house or the agent, because you get companies like Savills as well that do the auctions. They look at a few of the documents, they can't see anything that they think is disastrous. Now they're looking perhaps for something that says the house is in a state of disrepair, or the lease has got significant service charges of X amount of thousands against it, right? They're looking for something that makes sense to them, right? They think it's fine, they exchange, and then what you find afterwards, they come to a solicitor, and quite often it's, it's me, and they say, I've just exchanged, I've got a completion in 28 days. And I say, okay, great. Right. Did you check the legal pack? And they say, oh, well, it looked fine to me. Okay. Did you check the special conditions? You've got to pay all of these fees to the other side. Wow. Did you check that if you can't complete, you're liable for these costs and fees? Oh no, I didn't know that. Where is it written? I said, it's in the special condition. Did you not notice that the office copies, for example, on the title were registered a year ago? So have you checked up to date one? Oh no, I didn't know I had to. So sometimes there's things that come up, and then when you do the due diligence, sometimes there are certain risks with it. Sometimes there are things that perhaps aren't that desirable. And then you've got to find a way around it, and that's where the stress comes from, because then obviously naturally clients are worried. Oh my God, is this a bad investment for me? What if I lose my money? The other one is funding. A lot of clients don't necessarily realise that funding is the most critical thing. If you exchange at an auction, there might be certain legal things that, maybe aren't so desirable. You might get away with getting indemnity policies. We might be able to sort certain things out. But if you don't have the money, or if you're hedging your bets on, well, my dad said he was going to lend me something, and my mate said this, the problem you've got is that doesn't always work out. AML is a really big deal, and if it doesn't pass, then as no lawyer's going to complete. And
it takes time, right?
It does take time, and particularly I've got actually 3 cases on at the moment, all very similar. All 3 lovely clients have bought different properties at auction, a couple of commercial, some resi. They've all needed bridging loans. And the issue there is bridging loans are fantastic in these situations because, they're supposed to be quick turnarounds. But the requirements can be quite stringent sometimes. The AML is obviously very heavy. And if the client is looking for a loan to value that's significantly more than the money they've got in their account, you've only got a very short window to resolve it. Whereas in a normal conveyancing, you've got all the time up until exchange to do it. Whereas this, you've already exchanged.
Well, this is why I feel like if you actually look at the nature of property buying and investors and the nature of lawyers, I feel like they're a dream team, if you like, because it can be quite tenacious and quite impulsive, and to then have that slower approach, which looks, your mind's solely focused on the legal aspects, and also you've got the connections with the bridging lenders and everything else. So if a client comes to you, you know exactly what they need. You can advise them on the full pack, so they go in, ready for it. So that is really interesting. So just to wrap up, what would your quick tips be for anybody, maybe those excited puppies, the middle people as well, that are thinking of buying at auction? What tips would you have for them for that first auction?
Please make a sensible plan. Take a pen, take a piece of paper, and write down what your genuine budget is, right? And on an auction day, or if you see a property and you make an offer, in a kind of an outside auction hybrid situation, be realistic. Don't get carried away because you like the look of something. As, do you know what? I can go. It's all right. I can go 20 grand over. It's okay. Might not be okay because you might not have factored in those costs for legal. Do you need lending? You need to figure out what's the loan to value that you need. Are you going to do refurb costs? Because if your intention, and intention is everything, if your intention is to buy something to live in it, this is different. Because you might get the bridge, give it 6 months, refinance, you're fine. If your intention is, I'm going to buy it, I'm going to do something with it, I'm going to refurb it, I'm going to sell it on. Well, what's your refurb cost? Because you need to figure out, and this does happen, sometimes people don't put their costs into the equation enough, and they realise they've gone through all of the hoops, they haven't really made a profit. Or they haven't made enough of a profit. Is the risk worth the reward? These are the questions you have to ask yourself. Good question. It can be. I think auction is brilliant. But I really, really, really would implore people, please speak to a lawyer before you bid, please.
Okay.
Please get a brilliant mortgage broker or a bridging lender on side. If you've got that and you've got your ducks in a row, I'm all for it.
I think that's a good way to finish. If your ducks in a row, Jasmine is all for it. So thanks everyone for joining in today. Do message us with any questions or comments in episodes that you'd like to see, and do subscribe, and join us next week where we'll be talking to someone about their very real immigration journey to the UK. It's a juicy one. See you next week.
Bye.